Hello guys, it's a warm welcome back to the channel. This is Alpha Omega Daily. This video is about isolation in Thailand. Now I touched on the subject of, well, I didn't just touch on it. I spoke about loneliness before, and this video goes on from that to deal with the subject of isolation. So I'm feeling a bit isolated, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself a coffee, I'm going to go outside, I'm going to sit down in the sun and talk to you. So if that appeals to you, grab a coffee and sit back and relax and enjoy this video. One of the ways you can feel isolated is when you're standing in a queue in 7-Eleven and someone just jumps the queue. That's what they do here, you know, and you might as well not say anything because, you know, what can you do? Kapom, thank you. That woman actually jumped the queue. I was standing in front of her and she just jumped in front of me. Look, that's par for the course here, lads. And that's another way you can feel a bit isolated because, you know, my advice to you in a situation like that is just say nothing, because you've got to avoid confrontation at all costs. Hello, say hello YouTube. Hello, hello. You got to, I mean, they're very friendly people, as you know, as always. I've often said that, but you got to avoid confrontation at all costs. Anyway, I'm going to traverse LaRue here, have my coffee, wait till this motorcycle guy goes by because he won't stop for me, and let's talk about isolation in Thailand. Anyway, isolation in Thailand. How do you avoid it? How do you avoid feeling isolated? Well, the thing is, unless you speak the lingo, there's actually an ant on the camera here. If you see something crawling across the screen, it's an ant. But avoiding isolation, if you don't speak the lingo, you're going to encounter isolation. You're going to come across it. It's going to affect you, and you know, things will happen around you and you won't be part of what's going on. And being married to a Thai, from my perspective, it's probably different. I mean, every situation is different, but from my perspective, Thai people are not necessarily, this is in relationships now, and this is my experience, it may not be your experience, they might not be as communicative as you might expect. I live my life in a parallel universe, that's the way I would describe it. As a lot of people are aware, my Thai is not at the races. Well, I mean, it's not that bad, but people say it should be a lot better for the length of time I've lived here. I mean, that's relative. I mean, it's up to me. I mean, if I want to learn to speak the language better, I learn to speak the language better. If I can get by with what I speak, I'll get by with what I speak. But you see, that's elective. That's my decision, and my decision renders me in a situation where I feel isolated. Look where I'm sitting now. So this is a nice little spot to sit and have a cup of coffee, have a meal. It'd be nice to be able to shoot the breeze with someone who is sitting here in their own language. I could do that to an extent, but I can't do it in depth. And that's the problem, having an in-depth conversation, a heart-to-heart with someone. And that's one of the things I miss about living back home. You know, the opportunity to share your feelings. You don't get the same opportunity here because of the language barrier. And it's not just the language barrier, it's the cultural barrier as well. There's aspects to Thai culture that are completely foreign to me. I mean, I know foreign is the obvious term, but it really is. They really are. And there's lots of aspects of life here that are completely, I can't understand. you know. And there's lots of things that, when I'm speaking about, let's say, my spouse, my wife never asks questions about me, about what I do during the day or my life in Ireland. Her family never ask, and I covered this I think before, you know, Thais don't ask questions, and they don't. Part of that comes from the fact that their educational system is a thing called rote learning, where it's rotation. This is a pen, this is a pen, this is a blue pen, this is a blue pen, and the students repeat and repeat and repeat. Whereby in the West we use a system known as critical thinking learning, where you will ask the students, what is this? And they will reply, it's a back scratcher, it's an ear cleaner, it's a whatever it is. And you say, no, it's a pen, but it can be used as a back scratcher, blah, 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 blah. And it generates curiosity. And Thais, in my experience, don't demonstrate any level of curiosity. I'm not saying they don't have it, they don't demonstrate it. And it's so obvious on a daily basis. I'm sitting alone. One of the reasons I do YouTube is to vent I do YouTube for a couple of reasons, but my main channel, the Big Picture El Panorama, I do that because I enjoy it and it gives me an income. This channel is much smaller, but this channel gives me an opportunity to share my feelings, to vent, to, I don't know, just to let it out, let off steam. And you know, a lot of guys gravitate towards Farang, and I hate that term, Farang bars, pubs and things like this, and they meet other foreigners. That's something I was never happy with, you know. I mean, I didn't come to Thailand to sit in an Irish pub. You can do that in Ireland, you know. But what's the point? I mean, what is the point? That's me. I mean, okay, going out on a Friday night and having a few beers is a different story, but using let's say areas that foreigners, other Europeans frequent as a place to go to mingle on a weekly basis or a daily basis, for me that's not what I came here for. I came here to experience the culture, but in doing so you line yourself up. You line yourself up for isolation. That's basically what it is. It's like nobody cares enough here. It's not that they don't care, but they don't ask questions, you see, and this is the thing. This is the isolation. They say, where are you from? And that's the extent of it. You don't say, what's it like there? What's the currency? What's the food like? What's the weather like? Nothing like that. So you end up feeling alone. But you see, I wouldn't confuse isolation with loneliness. I don't feel lonely. I'm content. I'm very content sitting here. It's the 20th of December and it's absolutely roasting toasting. It's just gone 10 minutes past midday and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to sit here. It's wonderful to be able to enjoy a coffee and take a walk. But these are solitary exercises. And I suppose if you are, say, an introvert, if you prefer your own company, if you're happy in your own skin, this kind of lifestyle would suit you down to the ground. But if you're an extrovert and you like the company of other people and like to express yourself, I would suggest that maybe Thailand wouldn't be the place for you, because you're not going to get the chance to express yourself unless you speak the language fluently, and you're not going to get the chance to integrate unless you speak the language fluently. So there you go. I consider myself to be, I'd say, middle of the two. I mean, I can be an introvert, I can be very extrovert. Being on YouTube, on my other channel, is very extrovert. I talk to total strangers every night of the week. And that for me pushes the boat out. It really does. It pushes the boat out. It makes me integrate, because during the day I don't get the chance. Look at that, look. Can you see those two guys over there? But anyway, that's that's again cultural. You know, they do things differently here. But what do you think? If you're living in Thailand, do you feel isolated? And if you do, what do you do to counteract this feeling of isolation? I don't feel the need to do anything really other than what I'm doing. There's a level of isolation that I've come to accept, but if it starts going into loneliness, that's when it gets a little bit different. I'm not lonely because I'm married and I have a son and I have interaction every single day. But when it comes to being out and about on my own, my son's at school, my wife's at work, my time is very much my own. These are times where you need to have something to do to counteract the loneliness if it's there, or the isolation, and YouTube is what's done it for me. I've one channel for the evening and one channel for the day, so I'm busy all day. So there you go. I hope that you found this video informative. Wow. And interesting. And if you did, if you haven't done already, I should say, make sure you click that subscribe button, click the like button, click the share button, do all those wonderful things, and I'll bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.